What if I told you that a billion-dollar empire was born not in a boardroom, but in a tiny apartment on the back of a single, relentless idea? Imagine starting from scratch with no investors, no famous last name, and no entry into elite circles. This is the story of Sara Blakely and Spanx, a tale that's not just about business, but about pure entrepreneurial freedom. A journey that started with just $5,000 in savings and a burning desire to solve a personal problem, and ended up redefining an entire industry. Today, Spanx is a household name, but the path that led there is far from ordinary. Sara Blakely's story is a masterclass in resourcefulness, resilience, and the raw power of capitalism in action. But let's rewind to the late 1990s, where a 27-year-old sales trainer, frustrated with her own wardrobe, had an idea most people would have dismissed as trivial. Blakely wanted smoother lines under her white pants but couldn't find a product that worked. So she took matters into her own hands, cutting the feet off her control-top pantyhose. That simple act of DIY innovation sparked the birth of Spanx. But Sara wasn't a textile engineer. She didn't have investors or a supply chain. What she did have was grit and a refusal to take no for an answer. She started cold calling hosiery mills in North Carolina, facing rejection after rejection. The industry was dominated by men, most of whom thought her idea was laughable. But one factory owner, convinced by his daughters, finally agreed to take a chance. With prototypes in hand, Sara set out to sell her product, not from an office, but out of her apartment, literally going door to door in department stores. She would leave samples for buyers, return for feedback, and pitch Spanx with a passion that couldn't be ignored. Without a marketing budget, she did everything herself, designing packaging, writing copy, and even modeling the product. Her first big break? Convincing Neiman Marcus to take a meeting. She didn't just talk about Spanx, she demonstrated it, changing in the ladies' room to show the results. That hands-on hustle made all the difference. Soon, Spanx was on shelves, but the fight was far from over. Sara's relentless approach caught the attention of Oprah Winfrey, who named Spanx one of her favorite things in 2000. Sales exploded overnight, but even then Sara kept her day job for months, packing orders during evenings and weekends. She knew that freedom comes from ownership, so she refused to take on outside investors, keeping 100% of the company for herself. This decision was radical in an era obsessed with venture capital. The Spanx story isn't just about shapewear, it's about what can happen when you bet on yourself. Every step was a lesson in the transformative power of free markets, where anyone, regardless of background or credentials, can create value. Blakely's journey is filled with curious facts. Did you know she wrote her own patent application, having read a book called Patent It Yourself? Or that she insisted Spanx be sold in the hosiery section, not the lingerie aisle, to reach more women? These were strategic moves that defied industry wisdom. Unlike many entrepreneurs, Blakely didn't come from a wealthy family. She sold fax machines door to door, learning the art of rejection firsthand. She credits her father for teaching her to embrace failure, a lesson that would serve her well when the world said no. There's a certain magic in her approach, a blend of humility and boldness. She sent gift baskets and handwritten notes to buyers. She called friends to pose as customers, requesting Spanx in stores to create demand. Every tactic was scrappy, creative, and effective. By 2012, Forbes named Sara Blakely the youngest self-made female billionaire. But she didn't stop there. She joined the Giving Pledge, committing to donate at least half her wealth to charity. Her philanthropy is as notable as her business acumen. Spanx itself has expanded far beyond its original product, offering everything from bras to activewear. But the culture of innovation and risk-taking remains at its core. What's truly remarkable is the independence Blakely maintained. No board of directors to answer to, no investors to dilute her vision, just the pure, unfiltered drive of an entrepreneur who believed in her product and herself. The Spanx story stands as a testament to the virtues of capitalism, opportunity, meritocracy, and the reward for risk-taking. It's proof that in a free society, ingenuity can trump pedigree, and persistence can beat privilege. The journey was never easy. Sara faced skepticism at every turn. Many scoffed at the idea that women would care about what they wore under their clothes. She proved them wrong, not by luck, but by relentless pursuit. Her story is filled with moments of vulnerability and humor, like the time she deliberately mispronounced Neiman Marcus as Neiman's to seem more familiar, or when she blitzed the red carpets, sending Spanx samples to stylists and celebrities alike. These stories reveal the power of authenticity in business. Blakely's success wasn't manufactured by PR teams or slick advertising. It was grassroots, built from the ground up, one conversation and one customer at a time. The Spanx model is now studied in business schools, but its lessons go beyond textbooks. It's about solving real problems, listening to feedback, and iterating without ego. Sara's refusal to seek validation from investors is particularly resonant. She didn't want to compromise her vision for quick capital. In a world where dilution is the norm, she chose autonomy. That freedom allowed her to make bold bets, like expanding into international markets and constantly reinventing her products. Even as Spanx grew, Blakely kept her team small and agile. She preferred hiring people who were scrappy rather than pedigreed. The company's headquarters are filled with reminders of its humble origins, including the original fax machine Sara used in her early sales days. This humility is part of what endears her to so many aspiring entrepreneurs. She often speaks about the importance of humor and lightness in leadership, qualities that have kept the Spanx culture resilient. Her story has inspired countless people to pursue their own ventures, reminding us that regulations and red tape are not prerequisites for innovation. In fact, they're often barriers to it. Sara Blakely's journey is a powerful argument for the entrepreneurial spirit, a spirit that flourishes when individuals are free to experiment, fail, and eventually succeed. She embodies the idea that you don't need permission to create something valuable. The Spanx saga is more than a business case. It's a rallying cry for those who believe in the power of the individual. It challenges the notion that you need connections to break through. Instead, it shows that creativity and grit can open any door. Even today, Sara's influence is felt in boardrooms and bedrooms around the world. She's proof that capitalism at its best rewards those who solve problems and serve customers. Her philanthropy, too, reflects the capitalist ethos of giving back once you've succeeded. The Spanx legacy is still being written, but its foundation is unshakable, a belief in freedom, ownership, and the limitless potential of human ingenuity. If you're dreaming of starting something new, remember Sara's story. You don't need investors. You don't need permission. All you need is a problem to solve, a willingness to work, and the courage to keep going. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this story of entrepreneurial grit and the power of free markets, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Fortune Route, and drop a comment telling us which entrepreneur's journey you'd like to see next. Your support helps us bring more stories of business brilliance to life. Now let's dive a bit deeper. Spanx's trajectory wasn't just luck or timing. It was built on relentless customer focus. Blakely spent hours in department stores listening to feedback from real women. She made changes on the fly, sometimes sewing new prototypes herself. This obsession with the customer is a hallmark of successful capitalism. She never lost sight of her original mission, to make women feel more confident. Every product innovation, every marketing move was rooted in this purpose. Her story is also a lesson in leveraging the resources you have. Sara didn't wait for perfect conditions. She started with what she had, a small savings, a big idea, and an even bigger drive. That's the essence of entrepreneurial freedom, action over excuses. One little-known fact, Spanx was never advertised on TV in its early years. Growth was organic, fueled by word of mouth and genuine enthusiasm. It's a reminder that the best products often sell themselves, no manipulation required. Blakely's journey also highlights the importance of adaptability. When copycats emerged, she innovated faster, adding new features and expanding the Spanx line. She saw competition not as a threat, but as validation. The Spanx culture remains fiercely independent, a direct reflection of its founder. Employees are encouraged to challenge norms and question assumptions. This environment sparks creativity, the lifeblood of any successful enterprise. Sara's leadership is distinct. She celebrates failures as learning opportunities, holding regular meetings where team members share their biggest mistakes. This culture of psychological safety is rare and valuable. Spanx's impact extends beyond the world of shapewear. It's a symbol of what's possible when barriers to entry are low and freedom is high. Blakely's story is now part of the entrepreneurial canon, taught alongside icons like Steve Jobs and Richard Branson. She's proof that entrepreneurial success doesn't require a tech background, a fancy degree,